We live. Thank you for everybody for staying. I don't know exactly where we got cut off at. But anyway, like I was saying, if the Raiders want to be successful, now 2 wins in a row, that's consistency. We got to stay and show our consistency during the season. The Raiders are doing that. The team is doing that. They're building their family of trust, bridges. I talk about this all the time in my professional life. You have to build a bridge of trust. You got to come to this side, and I got to come to that side, and we got to trust that we're going to meet in the middle, and then we got to build a strong connection. So other people can walk across our platform. That's how it works. That's how a good team, a team of anything, that's how you are successful. A group of you guys got to get together and build bridges of trust so that person, that individual, know that, yeah, you're absolutely right, Alvarado. Consistency amongst the backups is a good thing. But like I was saying, I have to know and I have to trust that I can rely upon you, and once that trust is there, you know, the ad libs are going to come, the great plays are going to come. Some of the integral things that we don't understand and know about yet, as far as blocking or rushing or rushing the ball, or those things are going to come. We'll be notified by the experts. So it looks like Mike Mayock and John Gruden. Because I was very skeptical of the Mike Mayock and John Gruden. If you know me, you know that. The way I saw John Gruden, even though he was an NFL coach before, but he took a layoff for years. And to me, he no longer he was a TV personality. And Mike Mayock, as far as I know, has never worked in an NFL head office. He's always been a TV personality. So I kind of felt like the Raiders this year decided to go. At the beginning of the season, I really felt like the Raiders decided to go with a reality TV show and call it the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, soon to be the Las Vegas Raiders. But it looks like Mark Davis has put together a solid football team together so far. And I'm behind that. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far in the preseason. Hopefully it carries over to the regular season. Because I'm tired of buying tickets and not having wins behind it. You know, that's some of you guys out there, season ticket holders. You know what that feels like. Before I used to tell myself, oh, I'm just going to the games, to celebrate with my fellow Raider fans, my comrades. We don't care who wins the game. We're there to support the team, support each other. But now that this has been possibly their last year in Oakland, I want wins. I want wins. And I would really like, a Super Bowl. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to breathe. I'm going to have to do this on camera. You got a lung and a half. One lung, half a lung here. One day I'll talk about it on camera and let you guys know how I came to this point. And no, I am not a smoker. Never have been. Ugh. One more to go. One more. But I've been around plenty of smoke. They used to call me the Lord of Fire or the Bringer of Smoke back in my young. I was like one of them ones. But now I'm not. Now I'm just a normal, average Joe living a good life. You guys about Raider football. Talk with you guys about a lot of other things. And for some of you guys that run into me out on the streets, I've been seeing you guys at a lot of places. I appreciate the support. The Zensters, you guys are mad respectable. I got mad respect for you. A lot of you guys. A lot of you guys. I've had like a couple of trolls, but it's all good. Anyway, back to the game. Back to the game. Special teams. I don't know. One thing I will say, we might be in a little bit of trouble unless we start putting starters out there on special teams, because I'm not seeing the enthusiasm this year of guys on special. We don't have no guys that really stand out. And if one phase of the football game is lacking, then all phases of the football game is lacking. Special teams cannot lack. Sorry. I know John Gruden's really high on this punter, but so far so good with the punter. The long snapper, he's good. So far so good. The backup returners, luckily we got Al. The rest of them, I've seen Hunter Winthrow in practice return punts, and he was pretty good. He was solid. He also bragged to the crowd that he could punt too, but the special teams coach wasn't having it. Wasn't having it at all. But I'm not. Yeah, I just don't see the enthusiasm there. Nobody's like running down there to get that pop, separate somebody from the ball. We're just, and usually you see that a lot in the preseason. Guys want to get a job, want to make a team. Special teams is where a lot of the game action is. And I'm sorry, Raiders, we just haven't seen that this year. I've seen some good pops on defense. I've seen some good pops on offense. But on special teams, I can't look back and say, hey, that's that guy right there. That's going to be our special teams guy. We used to have a special teams guy almost every year, but now we don't. So we got to find whoever that guy is going to be. The leader of our special teams. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah. Yeah. Back to the coach, John Gruden. I don't necessarily want to call them theatrics on TV. Some of it's just a bit much for the kid. Hopefully that carries over and translates into wins. But yeah, I need less of that and more coaching. I don't want to see like last year, 4-12 with the theatrics. We were out coached in a lot of games. There was like a lot of mismanagement in games, and I hate to harp on whatever on last year's performance, but I'm starting to see some carryovers into this year. That's mismanagement. The penalties, penalties, by our squad on defense and by our squad on offense. That comes to management. John Gruden does not have a lot of rules. He has expectations, but you know, sometimes you gotta like really lay down the law. You have to be a you have to be really detailed in those instructions that you give. Like when the team is this new, people have been together this long. Micromanaging comes to mind. So I would like to see. I don't necessarily want to see him micromanage each individual player, but I would like to see John Gruden make his coaches, his assistants, be managers of their players. You know, micromanage your coaches and make your coaches micromanage the players. That will cut down on a lot of these penalties. I mean, like that's 2 games in a row, bro, where we're 10 plus penalties. I'm just saying, that's not a good look, and that's not going to help us win games uh, with 3 points or less. Those close games when you got 10 plus penalties, you kick that out the door. You kick that out the door. We beat ourselves. So we're gonna have to get a lot more consistent on that. And hopefully they're coming up with a plan, working on it. For as long as I've been a Raider fan, we have always been a highly penalized team. Call it what you want. You can say it's the uh, the league that's on us. I know a lot of Raider fans believe that the league has something against the Raiders, whatever, whatever. A lot of times, we're just out flat out making mistakes out there. I just have to call a spade a spade. You know, a lot of times we're out there making mistakes, and these are mistakes that could easily be corrected by players and coaches. But I start with the leadership first. Coaches. Coaches gotta coach. If you're not coaching, then what? Now, what do you guys think about this new office? We really haven't got to see it yet. I've seen one play that I talked about a couple of weeks ago with you guys, and I saw it live tonight. I saw what I saw in practice when Jacobs ran a sweep, and I was like, okay, so this is gonna be real. They're really going to be doing this. So I was happy to see that. And we got the big guys that are nimble enough to get around that corner and put somebody on their butt. So I was happy. I was happy for that. Now, one of usually, Zenny is a stream master. He can stream for an hour, 2 hours. I've been on here for about almost 45 minutes, and I'm still getting used to this life. I appreciate everybody that showed up to hear my thoughts. And just in case you missed it, or you didn't watch the game, or you came straight here instead of going to check the stats on the game, the Raiders won 33-26. It wasn't even as close. The game was nowhere near that close. Pretty much in the second half, in the bottom of the second half, the scrub got some points. The Raiders had 26 points in the first quarter. The game was pretty much wrapped up in the first quarter. Kyler Murray was sacked in the end zone. We got a safety, but at the same time, me being a perfectionist, because I just like to see. I like to see teams get drove. A lot of people don't like that for competitive reasons, but when it comes to the Oakland Raiders, I like to see us drive teams into the dirt and walk on to the next team. I don't want close games. I don't want to hear nothing. They had 300 yards on you guys. I don't want to hear none of that. I want to hear that we beat them 40-0 and they had like 78 yards of offense. But that's just not reality. for the Oakland Raiders right now. Right now. They're trying to build that squad. Hopefully it happens. Hopefully it happens. So we'll see. So let's see. Last week we didn't get the starting quarterback. This week we got the Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray for extended playing time. He had more playing time this week and less yards than he had last week. Less production than he had last week by a lot. By a lot. I think he only had 12 yards passing in the first quarter. 13 plays, 12 yards passing. That's ridiculous. Oh, live chat messages. Okay, great. There are no messages. I'll wait for a second for comments. If anybody got any comments, anything they want to ask, anything they want to say, now's the time. Before I jump out of here, September 9th, if you guys are going to go to the game, I will be out there. I will be broadcasting live. I will be talking about the Raiders' experience as far as tailgating, the tailgating experience. Because it's like I've literally been around the world in exporting events around the world, and I can honestly tell you, there's no type of party like an Oakland Raider party. Period. Yeah, DeAndre Washington looked good. For sure. For sure. And I hope he stays consistent because I've always liked DeAndre Washington. I didn't like him fumbling and all that other stuff. You know, I don't know what was going on with him. But it looks like this season, he's kind of got that wrapped up. I don't know what's going on with Rashad. We haven't seen him much. I think he makes the squad too. He has to make the squad. We haven't seen anybody else that runs the ball, or not just runs the ball. Because to be a John Gruden running back, you also have to be able to catch the ball. You have to be able to catch the ball. You have to be able to block. And yeah, we just haven't had that. So Josh Jacobs, he's a great starter, good all-around back. He can do all the above. But the season is 16 games long. Plus, if you make the playoffs, I like running back by committee. I would not like to see Jacobs in there, all by itself. Yeah, Richard don't look like a lock to me either. I haven't seen enough from him at all. At all. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he's in the doghouse, but Raider D gonna find out. I'm gonna put my tea leaf fillers out there, and we're gonna find out what's going on. I'm gonna hit my sources up and see what's going on. Why he ain't doing what he's supposed to do. He was pretty much our featured back. Him and the muscle hamster. This offseason, he doesn't like to be called the muscle hamster, I know. But we haven't seen him much at all this preseason. I know we had re-signed him, but where he at? Did I miss something? Was there an injury or something to him that I missed out on? What's going on with him? Anybody know? Hit the line. Let me know. So yeah, that was another question I had. I'm glad you brought that up. I hadn't seen Eddie Vanderos either, but I believe he's no longer with the Raiders. We'll have to we'll look into that. I'm gonna have answers for all of that in my next live. I'm saying? I'm putting it up here in the memory banks, and I'm gonna take this pen right here, and write it down. I got this pen from Kai Fam, one of my trusted Marines. You know, he doesn't believe in cell phones and tablets. He believes in a notepad and pen, because a notepad and pen, the batteries will never wear out. So I'm with that. I'll write that down and get those answers for you guys. Like this, you know, end our live stream. But anyway, you guys, that's it for tonight. I might see you guys again for another recap. Oh, well, I'm going to talk to my boss, Zenny, and see how he feels about this recap, and see if we can do some future recaps. But I will come back again and on September 9th, a few hours before the game, and I'll do a post game on September 9th, the Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. And then I'll let you guys know about a couple other things that are coming up. So you guys have a good night, and thank you. Good night. But just like me and technology, nothing ever wants to work.